We are back at it, ready to go for the show. And we actually wonderfully, thankfully, have all four of us again. That is, we brought them all the way back from the other side of the pond. We reeled them in across that big old ocean. We've got Freddie C back from Star Wars Celebration, and we're not at all jealous. Not at all jealous. Freddie, welcome back from Celebration. How tired are you on a scale from 1 to 10?
About 15. I say a 15 sounds about right now. The jet lag, it isn't terrible. It's about 8 hours difference, but it is a whole sleep. And we all know how easy it is to sleep in an airplane. Not quite easy. But
It's like even the deepest sleep
The
you get is
food.
still just
yeah. The food was good. The food was
Food
good.
makes it all worthwhile. Airplane.
Yeah,
and
totally.
by food, do you just mean beer?
That seems about right.
Liquid
That
bread.
seems about right.
It's good for
Yeah. I would say beer's highly how would you put it? It is imbibed on
Intoxicating?
quite frequently.
Okay. Well, you were just saying before the show you couldn't even get water. You walk into
Oh yeah.
you walk into a Starbucks and they handed you 2 beers. It was just like, hey, let's go.
You ready, right?
It explains a lot about our buddies Trevor and Frank
Mm.
over there across the pond, doesn't it? Or
Sure does.
should
Sure
I say, isn't it?
It sure does. But yeah, back from Celebration, it was an absolute blast. A lot happened. I have so many pictures just to run through. I'm not sure if we want to do it during the cold open or during the actual show.
Save the good
Uh,
stuff.
Okay. Yeah, but in brief, there was announcements after announcements the first day. I mean, they were shuffling folks in. Boom, announcement. And then they'd have to shuffle off stage. And then, who's next? Alkalite. Oh, okay. Let's go. Tons of information. And then, boom, shuffled them off stage. And then next, Skeleton Crew. Same thing. I mean, it was consistent. And I actually got a migraine that first day with all
Oh,
of
yeah.
the...
It's
Yeah,
overload,
all of
man.
mental overload. Of course, I was doing a data dump of everything I was hearing to the group, everybody who wasn't able to attend, and
The
hopefully
Utini news team. Freddie was the inside man.
on the floor, as they say, just data dumping, and thanks to everybody, JG, Emma, Amir, a lot of people, a lot of folks, Carl. Everyone pitched in and got some of the hottest news out, I would say, before most folks did. And,
Yeah, we were quick.
that's what we want to do. We want to bring some of the exclusive stuff to everybody because Star Wars should be for everybody. So it was fun.
Well done. Well said. Welcome back, Freddie. Glad to have you. Rick, do you have the eject button now so that we can show them how we really feel for going to Celebration without us?
Oh no, you gotta enjoy this. This is what I went through last
Oh,
year. So no,
Rick.
just buckle up.
This again. Come on.
Getting ready for I guess social media post asking everybody at UTN what was your favorite thing about Celebration, and mine from the bottom of my heart was watching the camaraderie between you and Frank and Alexander and Trevor and Carl. Just watching you all and your significant others, your families who were able to accompany you was genuinely heartwarming to
Yeah.
see. I just melted my cold dead heart just a little bit.
It was good to see Alexander, someone who's never met a Utini person one-on-one. He lives in France. And
Excuse me, that's France.
yeah, he lives there. And it was really good to see Alexander and hang out with Alexander, get to know who Alexander was, and it was fun to see Frank as well and share a beer with all.
That's how it was with quite a few folks on the team last year. Oz, for example, I couldn't decide if I hated him or what exactly it was until I got to hang out with him in person. And
Same. Same.
he accompanied me to go get the tat, and it was a real bud. Covered my back a couple times on the booth shifts, and JG was great. So congratulations to everybody who got to attend, and everybody who didn't. We're going to be breaking down Star Wars Celebration from a Legends point of view. this particular episode, and there is a lot for us to discuss from the point of view of Legends fans. In fact, Emily knows next to none of it, she said before the show, because she was
Oh, come on. Okay.
Tales of the Jedi.
Ratted me out. All right. So you were the guy that decided to pivot yesterday. And we're like, well, you know what? Instead of doing this
That was my fault.
comic
Rick's fault.
series.
It's all
Yeah.
Rick.
All right. Well, Rick, it doesn't matter. I was prepared for Tales of the Jedi, unlike some people I could say on the show. Like last week when Rick
I
didn't read
also
anything.
I did,
And
I also
then
haven't-
anyway.
just not everything.
I haven't finished it all either, and I'm sure Freddie's behind.
That's fact.
Well,
Listen, it's been the craziest like 2 weeks ever. My van has been in the shop for 2 weeks.
oh my gosh.
Our air doesn't work. I'm sitting in a 76-degree room. I've been sick for the past 3 days, so I slept all of today until 3. So
And Rick
I'm
accidentally
barely
left
here.
all of his Tales of the Jedi comics in the seat of his minivan while it was at the shop.
Sure, yeah,
So he couldn't read them without the
Digitally.
van.
yeah, exactly. Nah, not entirely.
It's been hectic. Hey, but I do
Yeah.
think it is very important that we break down this great Legends news here tonight. So we've got a lot of good stuff, and yeah, especially very excited for you, Emily, to hear, as Skooma Joe says in the chat, about the Crystal Star adaptation. That was a big surprise. Nobody saw that one coming.
I'm
Idris
sure no one
Elba
saw
as
that coming.
Waru. That's not something Freddie, I thought it was Keanu Reeves was going to be Waru.
Oh, well, we'll see.
Could have Morgan Freeman would make a good Waru voice. Rick, would you
Yeah.
please shut me up and start the show? Just press the button. Press
Eject.
Yeah, please do.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Legends Lookback, proudly part of the Utini Podcast Network. This is a Star Wars books podcast. You have to put your TV on channel 3-4 if you want to be
Hey.
able to watch it, where we celebrate our rich EU history as well as dive into lesser-known Star Wars classics. I'm your host, Jared Mace, and I am joined tonight, once again, by the legendary Freddie C. Welcome back, Freddie.
Jedi Battle Meditation.
There it is.
Yes.
The greatest power ever.
Greatest power ever. I took a snippet of it. I'm enjoying the legacy comics. I've read them before. It's been a while. I had to brush up on the first series, and then
What, Tales of the Jedi?
yeah, Tales of the Jedi. What did I say?
Legacy.
Legacy.
It's all Legends.
8 hours. 8
Okay.
hours of sleep. Haven't gotten it yet.
Oh.
Freddie, I'm curious to hear about what is this shirt that you're wearing, buddy?
This is an exclusive shirt that was at Celebration, and there was only one day that you could get it, and it was on Saturday.
Oof,
And
that's
because-
the toughest day to get into the store.
And I had thankfully, thanks to Bro Dameron, big shout out to Bro Dameron for being a really fun person to hang out with during Celebration. But he
You
had
got
a
to
VIP
hang out
pass
with Bro Dameron?
the whole time. I mean,
No
we were
way.
sitting next to each other during every Celebration announcement.
jealous.
So it was cool, and because of him, we found some Utini folks. We'll talk about them later. But yeah,
Cool.
this shirt here. You ready?
Let's do it. It's the full reveal. Oh, look at those floppy
Oh
ears.
man, look
For
at
our audio
that.
listeners, this is the Jackson Star Wars Celebration Europe shirt. Looking fly.
The most Eastery Star Wars shirt you can find.
Oh, it was. You bought it the day before Easter. Twas the day,
Yeah.
Easter
The
Eve.
night
Freddie.
before
Easter Eve.
Easter.
That's right.
Easter Eve.
And all through
And,
celebration.
I know there's another Jackson fan on this podcast here. Jared next to me. I got you one as well here. So
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
How many quid do I owe you?
nothing. This is
How many pence?
I robbed him. Just kidding.
Euros.
Rick and
cool.
Emily, I got you guys something as well, but
What?
it's somewhere in
Oh,
my
I hope-
luggage.
I hope it's lamer
Aw,
than mine.
thanks, man.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure it will be lamer than yours. But that's still so sweet, Freddie.
Yeah, man.
You
it
did
Thank
not
you.
have to do that.
You know
That
who
was
is
so
lamer than none of us? The wonderful, the immaculate Emily Daybeck. How are you?
Oh, I thought you were gonna go to Rick.
I never know which
All
one.
right.
Yeah, it's always.
Yeah, it's a
To be honest,
toss-up.
I don't either.
Yeah, I had a big win this week. I got my women's ministry to agree to having a Star Wars theme on our last show of the year, or the last meeting of the year. So it's gonna be a bunch of women, half of whom have no idea what Star Wars is about. And the other half are completely committed. And so it's gonna be a blast, and I can't wait to share more about that as it happens.
I just ordered some new Jedi robes, so
I know I'm kind of regretting that I returned mine. I should probably have kept them. Oops.
Just
You
get
know
the
who-
custom ones this time.
Yeah, there you go.
you know who looks great in his custom Jedi robes? Our producer Rick Grace. How are you, Rick?
Oh, hi there. Yeah.
Beard is looking
Thanks. No, they
fluffy
weren't-
tonight.
Thank
Those
you,
weren't
thank
Jedi robes. I'm thinking like it was a Rebel pilot outfit. That's what it is.
Oh no, don't look
That's
into
right.
that. I don't pull that off well. I'm more like Porkins and that thing. But
Porkin.
yeah, the Jedi robes. We'll go with that one. It covers the flabby arms and the white, super white upper farmer's tan. So yeah.
You do have a new piece to the fit tonight in the ensemble. What you got up top there?
Yes. These headphones are Bose headphones. I'm kidding.
Ooh.
They are. But no, it's this is the new Utini hat. It's brand new on the store. I was probably one of the first ones to get one because I love hats and
You're a hipster.
yeah, gotta have the hat. So it's pretty cool.
I gotta order mine soon. I love a good dad cap. Got to get
Same
one
here.
soon.
Yep.
The trouble is, I'm waiting for like a special occasion to justify buying another hat because I've got plenty of hats already.
Sure.
So maybe Father's Day I could convince my family to get me one,
That's a good idea.
or I just buy one for myself and save it for Father's Day, and then
Hmm.
tell them I already got it for myself.
and to pay you back.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Take Venmo, Cash App, whatever.
I will say I did get a little bit jealous. Both you, Emily, you're wearing your Utini shirt, and Rick has his Utini hat on. I felt a little left out, so I put on my Utini pin before the show,
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's so tiny you can't see it. And secondly, I can't keep it right side up, so it keeps
Oh yeah, there it is.
slowly.
Look at the size of that thing.
Oh my word.
Look at the size of that thing. Yeah, it just.
That's no moon.
You see this? I'm not making it up. I mean, it just keeps flopping. Oh my gosh!
Aw.
Man.
Giving up, ripping it off. Just like Freddie ripped off the Star Wars Celebration store. Freddie, you got some new
Nice
items
transition.
to show off here for our segment that we lovingly like to call Thraken's Thrift Store. What you got, Freddie?
Yeah, I do. Actually, Rick, if you could play that video that we talked about earlier, let's start there. That's a good place to start.
All right. Not sure if we're going to be muted or not, but here it goes.
All right, we'll be quiet. Shh.
The question is, will we see Max Rebo's butt? We're gonna find out.
All right, that's good. We're good. That's stupid cool. Look at him.
Nice.
Did you see his butt?
We're gonna find out. I
You
opened
did-
it, but I haven't seen it yet. I haven't looked at them, so we're doing this live. We're
Oh
doing
my
this live.
goodness. The live reveal. That's no moon.
So first of all, it's a
Oh.
three-piece band, right? Of course. So first of all, we've got the illustrious, the beautiful, the sensual Size Noodles.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Hmm.
Hey, Kristen Baver, the lovely Kristen Baver from This Week in Star Wars, is writing the Size Snoodles. Say that 5 times fast. The Size Snoodles, the book, the short story in the Return of the Jedi from a certain point of view, and I'm very excited about that. Carry on, Freddie. What else you got?
Yeah.
I'm not sure when that sentence started and ended.
Yeah.
Just like
And-
Size Snoodles long lips.
In my
Sure.
opinion,
Oh,
this is one of the best. One of my favorite band members, I would say, is Droopy McCool.
it's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. Period.
Yeah,
Droopy.
big fan. It's Droopy there. So
That is beautiful. Oh my
pants.
gosh,
He's
I
got
love
pants
it.
on, so that's great.
Well, you don't want
And
him to
last
have
but
droopy
not
pants on.
least, we have the man himself, Max Rebo, or
Oh man.
Beautiful.
the
Or
species-
Tolan.
I don't know him, Max Rebo.
Hey,
And you ready? You ready for this?
Show me.
Ooh,
Okay. Can't see his butt.
Oh man.
Can't see his
Fully
butt.
covered.
fully
For
covered.
people who might be wondering what we're talking about, there was a Regal robot statue of Max Rebo, and he had his butt hanging out the back. It was really awkward. It trended on Twitter. The rebooty, yeah, there it is. Not there in this one.
No
That is
crack.
great. No, he's fully suited up because he's got a gig tonight. If you know what I'm talking about there. If you don't, it's from the Robot Chicken. That was just for Corey. Corey Hilton, CEO of Utini. He loves that. He talks about it all the time. Those are great, Freddie. I've got a good little collection of Star Wars plushies in here. I've got the old band. I've got the Metal Nodes up on the shelf.
Oh.
So you've got the other band over there at your place. So if you want to hear both shows on the tour, you got to go to both of our places and see our Star Wars collections. Rick, you said you've got something else too for Thraken's thrift store. What you got?
Y'all. Hi, I'm Rick, and I'm in recovery for Star Wars buying. Because
Hi, Rick.
I was doing really good. Thanks. I'm just doing really good until I found a game exchange that I had never been to.
Uh-oh.
And therefore had never looted of all of their Star Wars things. And y'all, I got a lot. I don't know how much you want me to show, but I got some stuff that I'm really excited about.
Save some for next time, but show some gems.
All right. Okay, here we go. I got a whole camera set up. Let's see if this works.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Freddie's gone.
He's gone, yeah. So got these weird, like, I don't know what they're actually from, but like they're statues.
Oh my goodness.
And they're like $10 for these.
Wow.
And so I don't know what they are originally. They also made no effort to like dust them off. And so they wrapped them in shrink wrap and they're still dusty. There's an Anakin. His lightsaber's missing.
It's almost weirder this way, which I like.
Yeah. I know. What is he holding? A hose? We never know.
You don't
want to know. A Kenobi.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're pretty sick. Some Mace Windu. Check it out.
That is awesome. These are great.
Yeah. So I don't know.
The movement you
I
can see
love
the clothing.
Very dynamic poses for sure.
Ayla Secura. I think Ashley's being shot in the back, maybe because.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. What's going on there? One of the things I'm most excited about is this awesome General Grievous in the box.
Cool.
The Unleashed series. I don't know if you can see. Wow, where's the camera? Anyway, and then I'll show you two more. I'll save the rest for another time, but there's two more things that I'm super excited about because of their unique Legends connection.
Okay, you have me.
And Jessica found these, so she gets full credit. And also, I blame her for losing money in the bank account because of it, so it's her fault. Did anybody say shoulder pads?
Dash.
Oh,
There he is. Dasher in there.
Yeah. And what's that smell?
No way. No way. You did.
Hot Dog Boba Fett.
You did it.
No.
That's the one. That's the one that Ewan McGregor looked at.
It is, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
That is the one.
Oh
That's the
my
one.
gosh. No way.
That's the one that Ewan McGregor stopped at the booth and admired.
This is the very one, I'm sure. It made it from Anaheim to Paris, Texas. It looks like Shizor's being choked or something, and he grabs his throat and is like in pain. You know what I'm saying?
Vader
Like
chokes him in the finale of Shadows of the Empire. That's
so
the climax.
that's the pose then, I guess.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, wow.
Woo-doo.
So
That's amazing, Rick. Those are
That's so
some
cool.
great finds, honestly. Those are some legendary finds.
well, thank you. So woohoo. Yeah,
Cool camera work too.
pretty excited about that. Those are cool. So I got more to show you next week, but that's it for now.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Very excited to get to see those. Not at all jealous that I didn't buy the Ewan McGregor Shizor at last celebration. Not at all jealous. Not at all jealous. Well, I've got one thing. This came in the mail today. It was
Nice.
something that Andrew from the team, shout out to Andrew. Andrew, about a week ago said, Jared, what's your address? I got to send you something. And he didn't tell me what it was till it arrived. And it was bubble wrapped in another layer of bubble wrap, wrapped in tissue paper. And I was like, trying to get this thing out of there. And then it made me swear. And it was like on accident, just like it came out because I was so excited. It is a Dark Empire coaster.
Ooh.
Yeah,
What a random gift. I love it.
That
he
is
found
awesome.
He found it at he said like a thrift store, in
Nice.
Alabama. So yeah, it arrived intact. So all of the wrapping was successful, and he is successfully holding my drink tonight. It hasn't gotten sucked into a hyperspace wormhole or anything.
That's success.
So before we get into it tonight, one more fun announcement, and that is that we are doing a special event here at Utini in the month of April, the Utini Cosplay Showcase. This event is all about cosplay, the stuff that you wear, the stuff you make, the stuff that your friends make, and you just want to highlight. You can pop your pics over in the Discord or hashtag Utini Cosplay on Twitter. We've got 2 or 3 cosplay pics to show off tonight, celebrating some Legendsy cosplay and even some stuff that's not, because you know what? It's the stuff that's been submitted. So we're going to show it off. I believe we've got Brian in his Rebel Pilot outfit, and then we've also got Alexander in some High Republic cosplay.
I've
By
got
the way,
Alexander.
I
Send
saw-
me Brian.
I saw
okay.
Alexander's cosplay IRL,
Yeah.
and he hand stitched everything, all the
Oh my
embroidery,
goodness.
everything. It was stunning. I mean, he one day he was using he had used tape to hold his belt in place, and it didn't hold up. So he was there like in the middle of the night sewing everything back into place.
Oh my gosh. Look
Yeah.
at that.
All of that stuff is embroidered like a gold color. It looks amazing. Hands down. One of
Whoa.
the coolest things I've ever seen. Everyone else
Wonderful.
is like
That's-
screen printed.
We'll have to try Brian's next week. We had an issue with the file, but it gives us some more fodder for next week. Alexander's cosplay actually was pictured in the final celebration montage that they showed up on screen for everybody, even on the live stream, in the
Yeah.
big High Republic cosplay picture of the entire
there's-
crew together.
There's a reaction of me too in the montage when
Is there really?
Ahsoka dropped and Thrawn. I was like,
No
with my Boba
way!
Fett hat. Yeah.
I'll have to find it.
Love
back and watch
that.
Yeah,
It's great,
it
man.
was fast. Not like Alexander. He had a whole like second.
Oh, a whole second. But he was standing right next to Justine Ireland or Christina Ariel, somebody like that. So
Mhm.
congratulations to him. And let us know if you've got some cosplay you want to show off. This is the place to do it. You can pop it over in the Utini Cosplay Discord channel, or what is it? Yeah. The Utini Cosplay Discord channel, or the hashtag Utini Cosplay on social media, Twitter or Instagram. Yeah, there's a lineup of some High Republic Jedi, including Alexander's there.
Mhm.
Very
Nice.
cool. By the way, I'm doing a Jedi cosplay for a wedding I'm doing soon, a May the 4th wedding, and I need boots. I need to find the right shoes.
Have you tried Goodwill?
I have not. I need to go
Yeah.
in search of boots.
They've got a selection
Goodwill.
of brown boots, man. Let me tell you.
Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know. Got to try. And then it's like, which lightsaber do I use a lightsaber? Do you go armed
Red.
to a wedding?
Red.
Of course.
Red lightsaber.
Always.
A red? No. I mean, like they're not going to see the blade. Hopefully, I don't have to slay anybody at this wedding. But yeah, there's all these considerations you got to think about when you're putting together your cosplay. So let me know your suggestions. Without further ado, though, we've got some big announcements here on the Legends side of things to get into from Star Wars Celebration. Who's going to lead us off? Drum roll, please. Let's start with Emily. Emily, we had a handful of movies that were announced. The directors came out on the stage, the very first Lucasfilm panel. They basically just gave us an era and a director. The first of these is what era from what director?
Dawn of the Jedi from James Mangold.
First and
Yeah.
foremost, on a scale of on a scale of Palpatine's back to what's something we already knew was going to happen, and then it just happened anyway, and we were like, okay, yeah, we already knew this was going to happen, like another season of Rebels.
The
Back-
Clone
back-
Wars,
Sure.
right? Finishing off.
Yeah. On that scale, how surprised are you to hear that there is potentially, theoretically, a Dawn of the Jedi movie in the works?
Well, from my point of view, standing in that audience with everybody, we had no idea where Kathleen Kennedy was going. She's like, "Here's our timeline. This is what we're working with." Oh, by the way, let me invite some people on stage. Boom, and then 2 new things popped up on the ends. And we were just like, what? Immediately, I started thinking Legends. I was like, oh, Yu Vong, who are we going to see? Mine
Slow
went
your
crazy.
roll on Yuzhan
I
Vong.
will.
Hold on, we're not
I
there
will.
yet.
I mean, this is like the reaction real time. And then, of course, we see the actor for Dawn of the Jedi, and it's curious. It's curious. I wonder what we're going to see.
Yeah,
Well,
what
it's
does that even mean?
It's especially fitting timing because we just talked about Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void here on this podcast. So
We did.
a very fitting time. We didn't know this was happening. We did not have an inside scoop. We do know, however, that it's going to be re-released, part of the Essential Legends collection coming up soon. So that's part of why we're tackling it. What exactly does it mean? That's kind of one of the big questions I think people are asking, Emily, is how much of the old Legends material is going to be adapted? Even using the term Dawn of the Jedi, they could have named it something else and they didn't. She said it's 25,000 years set before the films, same as Dawn of the Jedi was in Legends.
Yeah.
Same time frame, same title. So this is the big question. All right, with each one of these, we're going to ask a couple of questions. One, how much of the Legends story do you want to see adapted? What is something from the Legends version of this particular tale that you would like to see carried over?
The lightsabers.
Let's start with that one. The lightsabers. Freddie says the lightsabers. The proto sabers with the backpacks, Freddie?
Exactly. I want to see that.
You want to see the
that.
backpacks with an extension cord lightsaber? That's your biggest wish?
Old tech. Yeah, I want to see old tech. Old ships, old tech. Mainly the lightsabers, though. I feel like if they do that, I'm like, oh, there it is. Call back.
Okay. I might like to see. Everybody has that cool sword on the cover.
Yeah.
It's not even a lightsaber.
Yeah.
I might like to see somebody like even before they have lightsaber tech.
Oh yeah.
Like a cool sword. Ooh, what if we see? Speculating here. What if we see the discovery of the first lightsaber? Like somebody
dark saber.
Ooh,
maybe.
that could be
somebody
cool.
fiddling with the tech and sticking the crystal in there. And what does this do? What
does this do?
Yeah, I know. Stares directly into tube. All right, so how much of the original Legend story do you want to see adapted? Freddie says the lightsaber. Emily, how about you?
I mean, that good old flesh alchemy. It's just a
Come
classic, timeless.
The grossest thing.
It's gotta be in the movie. I mean,
The toenail eyeball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if that's not in there, I'm out.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like some world building of Tython. So we
That'd be
already
cool.
we already know that there's a Jedi temple on Tython that has been in the Mandalorian. It's where Baby Yoda sits. That's about all that happens. Oh, Boba Fett. Boba Fett hangs out there too. So, wow, Mandalorian is crazy. It's like, here's this thing from Legends. Sticking Baby Yoda in it. Boba Fett bursts onto the scene. And there's a dinosaur. Anyway, yeah. So we know that Tython exists already in canon. I'd like to see it really developed in some amazing world building like we had in the books. I'd like to get familiar with some locations, like the volcano or the what's the one that's like over a huge chasm?
Yeah,
They've
that
all
one
got
is
those
cool.
crazy
There
names.
Are depths.
There are depths. That's right. What about Lannery Brock? Do we want to see the characters repurposed or adapted?
I think it'd be nice to possibly have them. So here's the thing. Star Wars is a universe, right? Multi-universe, or not multi. Well, maybe. It's huge.
It's a huge universe.
To see the same characters, I don't know if I want to see that. I wouldn't mind seeing new characters with the Legends characters, like, hey, let me help you out, boom,
Yeah.
and then take off.
Oh,
Like
a
a
cameo.
friend of, or like an adjacent to. I would like that.
Like, if I was Disney, I would say let's try to keep as much of this around. Maybe some retcons, right? Let's keep some of it around, but it would be nice to keep some of the stuff, like possibly alive, like some of the Clone Wars content, right? And then capitalize off of the legend stuff being still somewhat relevant and not being too irrelevant, so they can't sell it.
Sure. Okay, Freddie's thinking about the money. How much of Dawn of the Jedi do you want to see adapted? We've talked about the world building of Tython, the lightsabers, the depths, the Sith, the flesh alchemy. Unfortunately, we talked about that a little bit. Rick, how about you? Anything from Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void that we just read recently that you would like to see adapted on screen?
My first thought was the the different academies on Tython. So
Ooh,
was
yeah,
it's Tython, right? That they're on.
yeah,
Um,
Tython.
Tython. Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be cool.
Great comment here from Isgul. I would like to see Dalian over Lannery. I actually agree with that one.
Hmm.
Same.
I think he's a more interesting character. There's one in the comics who's just a lion. He's just a big lion man with the lightsaber. Yeah, I need to revisit the comics. I forget his name. I'm so close. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Somebody's going to find it for me in the chat and let me know. They talk about him a little bit. He's the prisoner of Bogan. They talk about him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he would I think be interesting to do. So here's my hot take. I don't think the Dawn of the Jedi is really all that great of a book. Therefore, I'm not really all that interested in seeing them do a 1-to-1 adaptation. I did think they were onto something interesting with the era, and it never got to be fully fleshed out. Alchemy of the Fleshed Out, because it was cut short by the Disney acquisition. So it's, like poetry, it rhymes. The Disney acquisition now is giving new life to Dawn of the Jedi because
Well,
they
it's
ran
been
out
about
of
10
ideas
years.
and needed to get back into the old stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been almost 10 years since the acquisition. So I think it would be fitting for Disney to revisit some history. They like to look back. It was like recently, like 50 years for Walt Disney World. And so they like to look back at the originals and look how far we've come. And so
Sure.
it would make sense for them to do some more legendsy things about 10 years after the acquisition, I think.
Oh, you mean like we could potentially see Dawn of the Jedi, the story from the Legends continue? That'd be interesting. Hey, by the way, we cut this short, and we're gonna keep it going. Remember that story?
Yeah.
we
I don't know
stopped
if they're
10
going
years
to keep
ago?
that going. There were a lot of weird stuff. But maybe something adjacent or I
No,
don't
you're,
know.
I think you're right. We'll get some new Dawn of the Jedi books, some new Dawn of the Jedi comics. Not something I ever thought we'd see again. So
No, never. Out of all the
Very f-
things that I feel like Disney was going to touch on, I knew they would want to go back, but I didn't think they were going to use Dawn of the Jedi. At least it's cool. I mean, there might have been a lot of good content there that Lucas had, and Disney might have said, "Hey, this is good stuff. Still, let's use it." Hopefully,
Well, they
we'll see.
probably launched off of the High Republic success. It's been such a hugely successful wave. And so they probably think, let's capitalize on this interest in the past of the Jedi and really
That's a good
explore
point.
this story more. And I bet they would probably be setting some foundations to compare the Dawn of the Jedi with the next, with the Daisy Ridley movie
All right,
coming
save
up. We
it.
haven't
Save
talked
it.
about that
Wait,
yet.
hold
Sorry.
on. We'll get back to it. Speaking of other eras of Jedi in the past that we kind of expected that we would get too soon. Well, they've announced that it's at least on the timeline, though we have no current projects announced that are relevant to it, and that is the Old Republic. The Old Republic was at least on the timeline. Yeah, there's that glorious timeline. The Old Republic is up there. However, they did not announce a film with it. The fact that it's on the timeline, though, makes me hope that there will be something Old Republic related soon. All right,
Well,
let's go down the. Go ahead, Rick.
Aren't they remaking KOTOR or revamping it, re-releasing it, something like
Well,
that?
that's a good question because they said they were, and
Okay,
then the latest news was they fired the entire team that was working on it. So
Yeah. Okay.
it's dead in the water, or is at least
Productive.
starting over. But it was never said whether or not it would be canon. The fact that they were remaking the Legends game, so all that's up in the air. So let's start with you, Rick, since you're apparently anxious to see KOTOR. What from the Old Republic era would you like to see? What would be the first project that you would like to see? This new canon era of storytelling, whether it's a game, a movie, a TV show, live action, animated, we really don't know. What would be your hopes and dreams for something Old Republic related, relevant to this announcement?
Okay, so this is maybe hodgepodging a couple ideas together. but a Old Republic era crime show. Like CSI Coruscant or something.
Ooh.
That's cool.
That would be a good idea.
Maybe not Coruscant, but just some I don't know, crime serial type show.
What about like a spy kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean not like Andor where it's too like
Burn Notice.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it has to take itself seriously, I think, to work.
Yeah.
That being said, Star Trek has an animated show that. Okay, hold on, give me a second. It makes fun of like all of the nerdy Star Trek references, and it is hilarious, and it's a hit. So I don't know if the Old Republic is the right era to dish on, but I think having a really lighthearted, stupid animated show would work for Star Wars if the fans would not riot and have a conniption, which they probably will. So maybe it won't work.
Hold
I
on.
don't know.
Let me check my bingo card. Nope, that one wasn't on there. A stupid
Yep.
animated.
Like yeah.
That was not on my bingo card.
What's it called? Adult Swim. That kind of
Ooh.
maturity level.
Star Wars
show.
Detours. Bring it back.
Yeah, there you go.
No. Come on. Stop trying to make Star Wars detours happen. So, there is a little bit of like crime solving in KOTOR. There's a couple of side quests where you've got to
Mhm.
investigate. You got to like ask 3 people, what's your version of the story? And then you ask follow-up questions. What's your version of the story? And then if you get fed up enough with the line of questioning and you want to go the dark side path, you just kill them. Yeah, you
Yeah.
just kill them. Emily, what would be your hopes and dreams for something Old Republic related that Disney might be working on?
I'm not really sure. This isn't an era that I've explored a great deal. I read Revan before I realized it was KOTOR. I didn't realize it was based on the video game. So I was all about Revan. Big fan. So probably him, actually. Can we just bring him around?
I think that's what a lot of people's hope is, something Revan related. He's, we don't know, male or female, somewhere between. Could be, a character that is explored
Yeah.
in more detail. I think a lot of people would like to see.
Out of everybody at Celebration in terms of cosplay, there were more Revans than anybody else in Legends. So Revan is
Really?
still a very, I feel like something that people want. So
For sure. How many Revans, though, looked tired and
You know what?
whiny and mopey?
hold on, Rick. Let me show you how tired they were. There's a photo number. Let's see here. 21 and 22. They all looked pretty schleppy because they all had to walk
Schleppy
through.
Revans.
Yeah, we all had to walk through this mess here, which yes, that was Celebration right there.
Man.
And you know
Ah.
what? It was so hard to even get photos of them because there was like 100 people in your way.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, look, there's another angle
Holy
there.
moly. That's a lot
Yeah.
of people. It's like
Nope.
wall to wall.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, last year the crowds were so manageable at Anaheim that 5, 6, 8 of us could walk side by side through the convention center and just like find that magical courtyard and have a nice leisurely stroll.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
It'd
There
be
were
a
moments that were
UTD
crowded, but
Congo line here.
That is crazy.
Yeah, this is how how it looked right after Celebration stage let off, but it was and the convention center folks had this great idea to put this plastic dome over it, so it was hot. It was really
Oh,
hot.
man.
Yeah, look at that. That's a great one right there.
Some
Look at that Mal-
Darksiders.
Yeah.
Nice.
Darksiders.
We got
Yep.
Malgus.
Right.
Yep, Malgus.
Love it. All right. So Freddie's answer is no. Emily's answer is Revan. Freddie, how about you? What is something from the Old Republic you would like to see adapted in some sort of new finagled Disney canon storytelling?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what I want to see. I like to see some of the same stuff to make it all relevant, right? I feel like keeping some sort of relevancy with canon and Legends, including the new content that we see, the videos or the movies. I want to see new stuff. I want to see new stuff that doesn't totally steamroll over what we know, if that makes sense. So how do you do that? That's why Disney pays people to do that.
Hmm.
All right, I got one for you, Freddie. How about this? How about I'm also in favor of if we're going to adapt anything old, take a piece of it or do one episode, do it really well, and then do some creative things that are totally separate and apart and original. What about like an animated series, 13 episodes long or so, made by some of the people who have done like the anime adaptations for Visions, the ones who've really excelled at that. Choose a couple of those studios to make
I feel like Revan would be perfect.
I was going to
as
say
an
like a
anime.
Sith Lord show. It could be just called Rule of Two. And then every episode is one particular Sith Lord. It's like deep into their psyche. And what is their whole thing? One of them is great at Sith alchemy. And so they're like stirring the pot of their potions. And then another is really real into combat, doing flips. And you just see him working out and then training. And then a bounty hunter tries to kill him. And then they got to go kill the bounty hunter. So it's like that one is all about this particular Sith Lord. And then in the end of every single episode, their apprentice kills them. And then the next episode is about that apprentice.
That is
Ooh.
so cool. I like that. Hey,
That
Disney,
would
we
be
got
really
some
cool.
ideas.
Yeah.
All right.
What if there's
And
a
one of
Visions
those-
episode where the Enterprise and like a Star Destroyer?
Jared's about to revolt.
One of them is Bane, just one. So he only gets like 8 minutes. That's it. His entire story is told and it's very short, condensed. Boom, snapshot, and then you got to go read the books. One is Xana. Get a little bit of Xana. Anyway.
Scuba
That would be really
Joe
cool.
had a great one in here. We should put that up because I wouldn't mind seeing that.
What is it?
He says, I would love a Bane trilogy adaptation by Genndy Tartakovsky. Genndy,
Yeah,
thank you.
Tartakovsky,
Get it
yeah.
right, Rick. I mean, get it
Yeah.
right. Okay, that's great. That's a great
That was good.
suggestion.
Quick,
It's time for-
quick
hey,
draw.
All right, let's take it to Twitter. # bring back Gindy.
At least somebody does. Thanks,
Oh my
Joe.
gosh.
All right, moving on. We've talked Dawn of the Jedi and Old Republic. We got a lot more to get to. Briefly, let's just touch on this one briefly. I don't know how legendsy this is. Another one of the films that was announced is a Mandoverse show, a Mandoverse movie, a live-action movie directed by Dave Filoni that is about the New Republic / the Imperial Remnant. Now, that is the bulk of Legends books right there, is New Republic, Imperial Remnant. How much of Legends do you want to see here? Is this where we finally get some Rogue Squadron?
I feel like it is. I feel like this is where we're gonna see, because this is Filoni, right? Filoni's dealing with the universe that he was handed by George, in my opinion, because he was George's understudy. And why not have Dave Filoni, the person who's been in this universe, just maybe finish it off, maybe move it into the next phase, which I think we're going to see. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think Rogue Squadron could be in it. I feel like we could see a lot of loose ends being wrapped up.
But we don't just want to see a loose ends movie. We want
don't.
to see
No.
we want to see something powerful, and I think the first shot of the film is just like you got your TIE fighters and your X-wings, and it's like
and you see a guy with
there
this
it is.
giant
medallion,
medallion.
bling bling. Moving on. The last movie we're going to talk about here, we've referenced it a couple times already in this episode. It's time that we talk about it. That's right, the New Jedi Order, or as I like to call it, the New Jedi Order. From
Did you say
Charmin-
nude?
New. No, Rick.
The different contingent.
The nude Jedi Order on
They were
Adult
left alone.
Swim.
Palpatine leaves them alone.
Mhm.
They're
Not
just
that
doing
kind of
anything.
show.
I mean, it'd probably make money for Disney. So
Well, Rick, now that you've said that, I'm going to ask you to read this one for us. Tell us about the New Jedi Order.
all right, the New Jedi Order from Charmin Obaid Chinoy. It's at 15 years after Episode 9, starring Daisy Ridley. So yeah, something to look forward to if you're a fan of the sequel trilogy, which I am. So that looks good to me. And continuing Rey's story a little bit.
Yeah.
I
This was
love it.
exciting.
Using the phrase New Jedi Order is a huge bone for
That's a
Legends
trigger.
fans.
Yeah.
It could also be a trigger for some. Yeah, I think so.
It's,
also-
triggered. Yeah, like it's so interesting. Like two of the Well, I mean, you probably just pulled the Legendsy ones, but like it is interesting that they picked the titles like Dawn of the Jedi and New Jedi Order. Like,
Yeah.
what is that?
Right. And
Interesting.
how much is going to come from Legends? That's the question. We've got
Yeah.
a suggestion here from Aaron in the chat. Very subtle little suggestion. Just sneaking it in. Very discreet, this suggestion of what character Aaron would like to see in the show.
Hmm. Ooh.
Nam Anor. So
Oh.
Nam Anor is like the Yuuzhan Vong spy master who is boots on the ground manipulating governments, and he's kind of like the Count Olaf in Lemony Snicket. Like he always goes in and wears a disguise and infiltrates, and then it was me all along, Nam Anor. And, but has a very interesting character trajectory. That's all I'll say about that.
Nominor has got to be another anagram.
Yeah, maybe so, but not a stagnant character. Nominor, a great story. I won't say exactly which direction Nominor goes as a character, so I think that'd be fun. The big question is, yeah, you're exactly right, Frank. Is this the return of the Vong? I've got strong opinions. I know Freddie does too. Freddie, in one corner, tell us why you're pro Vong.
We need to see the Yuuzhan Vong. I feel like reading about the Yuuzhan Vong was terrifying, at least to me. When I first read that book, I didn't finish the series.
It's long.
It's traumatic, maybe.
maybe a little traumatic for the age that I read it at when it came out. But yeah, I think seeing the Yuuzhan Vong would be fantastic, and you need a big baddie, and why not have an outer universe big baddie? Because it's like we've seen the Empire, we've seen the rise of the First Order. What else, right? What else can we see? More Sith, but I thought we just finished that off. So what are we going to deal with here? And I would just absolutely love to see a big threat, and I feel like Yuuzhan Vong could definitely be that threat.
All right, who's on Freddie's team? Who's pro Vong? I'm firmly anti Vong.
Hi.
Not as a villain in Star Wars. I think they make a fitting villain for a sci-fi trilogy set, written in the early 2000s. I don't think that I want to see them on screen. First of all, they're gross. Second of all, they're scary.
Way to be xenophobic, Jared.
Third of all right, I just don't know how well it's going to translate. I think they're too Star Trekky more than they are Star Wars.
Come on, Ender's Game has more bugs than Star Trek.
There's a plot twist. Disney bought Star Trek. They're expanding.
Something. Don't even
joke.
trigger Rick like that. So, here's my rebuttal to Freddie. This was made in the Discord by somebody smarter than me the other day. That there's a lot of pain and torture stuff tied to the Yuuzhan Vong's culture. Yeah. And in fact, like the most pivotal thing that happens regarding Jacen Solo is revolving around the pain and torture. Yeah. I don't know how much the torture porn you can put on
that's a
Disney
good point.
show.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I do think that you could do a lot of interesting things with the bioweapons and their biotechnology, the bioluminescence of their crystals that Anakin Solo is able to find one, and then he powers a lightsaber with it. And so all that's really interesting. For me, though, the Yuuzhan Vong are not the most interesting thing in the New Jedi Order. It's the young Jedis themselves and the relationships between the Masters and the Padawans. And the fact that those characters had been built up and established over the many, many, many books leading up to the New Jedi Order. We were ready to see the baton passed to that new generation of Jedi. What do we have here, Rick? What is this?
Some really smart guy named Rick said Star Trek never shied away from torture. There are 4 lights.
I have no idea what that means. Back to my point.
You know.
Back to my point. You had really invested in all throughout the 90s in the books that new generation of Jedi, the Jedi Academy, the Young Jedi Knights. So then finally, when you get to that, you get to see the Jedi Masters, Luke, Mara, Corran Horn, and so on. mentoring this new generation of younger Jedi who you are already invested in, and then they've got this big threat to go up against, and it works. My question about the New Jedi Order movie is, I think it probably has to be more like the Jedi Academy books than it
Yeah.
is the New Jedi Order books, because you've got to invest in the training of this new. Make it like a good X-Men movie where you're at the school with the kids, watching them play tennis with their special force powers. Do some teenagery shenanigans of being in the academy with these gifted
Degrassi.
people.
That's
in
an
Star
interesting
Wars.
point.
I think that's more of what I would like to see than a straight
Hmm.
1-to-1 New Jedi Order adaptation. But
So that's pretty interesting because, that's exactly what I feel like that's about, because Daisy Ridley came out, and I don't expect to see the Yuuzhan Vong. This is going to be a lot like Alkalite in a way, where maybe we see all sorts of ages, kids, adults, just people that are force sensitive. Maybe what's his face? John Boyega, right? What if we see him starting to become? Maybe we're getting the justice we for these characters to show the strength of these characters in a new movie that will give us new content, new Star Wars that I feel like everyone could get on board with. I think that's
and I do think
that's what I'm hoping
that's what's most interesting to me as a concept would be go to the school with the Jedi. Watch Daisy try to figure out how to be a teacher. Rey figure out how to be a teacher. I'd like to see Finn as like their combat instructor. So he's there at the school hanging out. Hey, did you know I used to be a stormtrooper? I don't know what that accent was. It definitely wasn't Finn. He's British. I was starting with the British accent, and then I went Australian. Anyway, it was something.
Landed on Lando.
Happens to the best of us.
Hey, you know,
What
I used
have
to be
we
a
here?
stormtrooper.
It's Rocky Balboa more than anything.
Yeah.
Colt 40.
So all right. All right. Where's my soapbox? Somebody bring me a soapbox. When Corran Horn and Luke Skywalker have a disagreement about how to train, like what's the best teaching method, and Corran really takes Luke to task for butchering his training of Kip Durant. I'd like to see some of that friction between Rey and Finn. Like, you've got a student that's going dark. Rey thinks we need to be gentle, and Finn thinks we need to be hardline against the student and put him in detention.
Beat him.
And Luke thinks we need to kill them in their sleep.
Oh,
I might like to see a Luke Skywalker Force Ghost appearance.
It's gonna
Like,
happen.
hey, I
It's
made
gonna
some
happen.
mistakes with my students. Don't make the same mistakes that I did. How about this? Exar Kun Force Ghost.
Hey.
how about just Force Ghost?
I mean,
think
yeah, but
everybody
four.
would be
Come
pro
on.
Force Ghost.
Should we just
Why
get a
not
movie
free
with
them
a Force
ad?
Ghost movie? That'd be fun.
Force Ghost, a Star Wars story.
Force Ghostbusters, the crossover we didn't know we needed.
would be
Would watch it.
awesome.
10 out of 10. Great suggestion. High
Yeah.
five, Rick.
Oh, well done.
All right, one last big Legend Z announcement before Freddy's slideshow, or what's left of it. I don't know if we have one.
Slideshow.
That is the biggest news of all. Premiering this August, seemingly, we are going to get a loose adaptation of Heir to the Empire in the
Whoa.
Ahsoka show. Why do I say it's a loose adaptation of Heir to the Empire? Well,
They
in
said
the
so
trailer, what's that?
They said so much.
Yeah, Rick, describe it. What happens in the trailer?
I think it's Ahsoka talking as they're describing Thrawn, and they say something about he is the heir to the Empire. Like, no mistaking, they use
Oh
those
my
words.
gosh.
I got the little, girly giggled. I was so excited. It's great.
It's like it's
About
almost.
time.
I can't decide if I love it or hate it. I think I hate it.
Ah,
The fact that she looks at the camera and says he's declared himself the heir to the Empire.
yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm here for it. I'm that fan. Yes, you can cater to me. Let's go.
The only thing
If
it was
you know,
missing.
you know.
All right, Rick, keep talking a little bit more about this. I'm gonna grab
Yes.
a prop and then I'll be right back.
All right. So yeah, heir to the Empire, loosely perhaps. So in the Ahsoka trailer, Thrawn has declared himself as heir to the Empire, and we see the back of Thrawn's head. And Freddy sees that he has seen a full front image of Thrawn, and that's
Yeah.
exciting.
We can't show that off on the show.
Can't?
No, I didn't get
We
a
can show
photo
the
of
back
that.
of the head. We can show the back
Yeah,
of
I
the
di-
head. That's right.
Yeah, if you start at photo number 8 there, Rick,
Yeah.
this was the first thing we saw, which was the poster. Oh, that's cool too.
Sorry, we've already shown this one. Let me get there. All right, back to 8.
Boom.
Ooh,
Very-
that's sick.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and Rosario didn't know what the final poster would be, and
Cool.
I love
yeah,
that.
so this is what it turned out to be, and it's so crazy to see Ahsoka live
Mhm.
action. I still
Yeah.
can't get over it.
They did such a good job.
Yeah, they did.
I
and
don't know that I'm that favorable on the live action Ahsoka that we've seen so far, but
Eh,
maybe I'll settle into it after a few episodes.
It's
mean,
way too
there-
early to judge. We didn't see
Which-
anything yet.
how many Togrutas
We've seen she was in the Mandalorian. We've seen her.
but like
True.
not.
But we haven't
that
seen
was-
her yet. We haven't
yeah.
seen her by herself. Right? We've seen her as part of like a supporting character, not
Right.
specifically her. And
I'll
who knows?
go
We
in
might
with
see
an open
clones
mind.
and other
I'm
stuff.
just
I don't know.
counterpoint, Freddie. You know, we gotta
Yeah,
have some
no,
healthy
it's-
discourse.
Of course, we love discourse.
I love the mute button.
So John and Dave came out, and of course we see the seats, and everyone starts to come in, and of course, who would be the first folks that they call up but Rosario, and she looked stunning, super happy to be there. Of course, everyone standing ovations for a long period of time. It was fantastic. And then next we had an announcement of who else we would see, and we're seeing some live action characters here, Sabine and Hera. Apologies, I don't know the actress's name at this time, but how cool is it that we see both of them in their form, which, I mean, it's everything I'd expect to see, honestly. The armor's fantastic. I ended up going to a
Cut from that
panel.
one. I don't think we can show it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can't show it. Okay, there you go. You couldn't see that. There's another one of Hera, and it just looks exactly like the cartoons do.
Where's the brain tails, Freddie? Where's the brain tails?
They're there. They're definitely there. If
Good.
you look at number
Exactly, I
13,
have foreseen.
I don't. Can we show this one? I don't know.
I don't know if we
No,
can show any of
can't show the
these.
brain tails.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can't show them. And it turns out, of course, Hera isn't just a pilot anymore.
She's a general.
We might get to
Yeah.
the brain tails. Is she in the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sabine wasn't, right?
Boom.
There we go. All right. So cut
Sabine
away from her,
wasn't
though, 'cause I don't-
in that image. Okay. Whoop. What's happening?
All right. So a lot of exciting
Okay.
stuff. We got to talk about it from the Legends perspective. Obviously, they're doing, the whole Rebels cast is coming back in. That's canon. Sure. We get it. On the Legends side of things, what's especially exciting is this character, Thrawn, was, he premiered in 1991.
Yeah.
It has now been over 30 years.
Ooh.
There he is. Look at the back of that beautiful blue head.
Y'all seen that Mad TV skit of the back of that head is ridiculous. Girl, you worked that up too. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. That's playing on my head now. I'll send it to you later. It's good.
So whose back of head is this?
This is the heir to the Empire. This is Thrawn right here. There's no other question.
I meant the actor, but that's fine.
Lars.
Laz. We've got a
Lars
picture of him too.
Mikkelsen. We do.
Big man on campus.
Oh, cool. Let me find that picture.
Yeah, so Lars Mikkelsen, who, in case you're not paying attention to everything that's happening in canon, is the voice actor for Thrawn in Rebels. He's the one who has that it's a very plodding, kind of whispery voice. And so I'm excited that they've kept the consistency there. And honestly, Mark Thompson does an amazing impression of it in his audiobooks
Those.
of the canon Thrawn books, which is very exciting. And I think equally exciting on the Thrawn front. Let's talk about Thrawn before we move on to some of the other aspects of Heir to the Empire that we might be looking forward to or hoping for. With Thrawn specifically, Filoni said that he has consulted the author Timothy Zahn on multiple occasions, discussing the character every step of the way, and he closed the panel by assuring the audience that he knows how important it is to get it right. Now, there's a lot of debate about Thrawn in the Star Wars books, adaptation circles. Some have said in the recent canon books, there's been so much character growth that you can't even consider him a villain anymore. And then there's those of us on the legend side of thing who say, I hate to break it to you, but he is,
He's evil.
in his original conception, a villain.
Yeah.
How villainous do you want to see your Thrawn? Rick, let's start with you.
Oh boy. I'm a sucker for like a redemption story and like a lessening of a villain. So I really do like canon Thrawn, but yeah, there's no denying that original Legends Thrawn is not the same. So I'm okay either way. I don't know. I think they kind of be betraying the path that they took him on in canon if they just instantly make him super dark. But if they explain how he gets there and continue that evolution, like I'm all for it. Let's go.
Sounds like
but,
we need some more books, Rick.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
All right, Emily, how about you? Rick is team Redemption. How about you, Emily?
That's a good question. I kind of like a classic evil Thrawn, but
yeah,
I'm honestly not picky. I'm just really excited they got Lars to play him because in my mind, that was who I had cast. And so I was really excited to see that. In fact, I saw it in the show notes and I looked it up real quick to make sure I was thinking of the right person because I forgot his name. But yeah, because in my head, I'd always pictured him as that guy. And so
awesome.
Best actor choice ever. And I really don't care how they portray him. I just want anything and all things Thrawn. I love the guy.
I'm honestly a little disappointed because my head legends of Thrawn, he's Pierce Brosnan. So
okay, I had Pierce Brosnan on my short list, and then Jason Isaacs, who is the Malfoy dad in Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, he'd be great.
He was my top pick, but yeah, any of those are good.
But I don't want to see him with the long hair, the long blonde hair.
Oh yeah, exactly. That would work.
Lucius Malfoy.
Lucius,
Freddie,
thank you.
Are you team Redemption or team twirl that mustache, baby?
Yeah, I want to see the worst of Thrawn. And by that I mean I want our heroes, right? I want Ahsoka and everybody to just be afraid for their lives. I want to see a cunning Thrawn who is there to do his job. And that includes being the villain that we expect to see. But I wouldn't mind. I feel like Thrawn is intelligent, and we see where he went with I guess the canon side of things, and I feel like he's there for his race, I guess, right? He's kind of
right.
he
Chiss
finds
people.
his race, the Chiss people, more important than everything else, and I'd like to see those decisions where we see him reacting like that, but he's still a villain, right? We know that, that he means. I don't want to say he means well, but we know that he's not just cutthroat just to be cutthroat.
Sure,
but he's doing it because it's his job.
Yeah,
that's great. I'd like to see some of the stuff behind the scenes, maybe some sensitive moments with Thrawn, where we see that he does have a heart, and is not this dispassionate, cold-blooded killer. We only get a couple of moments like that in the original Thrawn trilogy. Really not much of that. Only a couple of moments where, he has a guy executed for crossing him. And then he tells the rest of the crew, I've got to teach you a lesson on this. And we can't have ineptitude. We really have to be on top of our jobs. But like the whole pitch for Thrawn in the first place was, what about a villain who wins his people over with loyalty and also art? He really just loves some art. So I'd like to see some great, tactics and outsmarting the opponents by studying their doodles. Great comment here from Skooma. Read it, Rick.
According to Zahn, to him, it's supposed to be the same character. The Ascendancy books are just set when he was younger. By the time of Heir to the Empire, he's just more jaded, and all ends justify the means.
My only pushback to that is, maybe Zahn intends that. I have not seen that connective tissue quite connect yet. So maybe we're missing a piece.
We're missing, years, right? Like, so I get it. And
this is where I'd like to trust but verify. I trust Timothy Zahn, but let me verify.
Well,
this is, I think, maybe the connective tissue. I'm excited to see what is up with Ezra and how he and Thrawn managed to survive.
Oh my gosh, right?
That's a story to be told, and so maybe that's got some of it. But that'd be cool.
But what we do know is there's a lot more to be hopeful / excited / fearful, depending on your level of skepticism going into Ahsoka. And that is they have referenced this particular title, Heir to the Empire. She said it in the trailer. Therefore, we've got some expectations. I mean, it's almost as if Ahsoka, the camera cut over to her and she said, Thrawn has declared himself the heir to the Empire. I mean, it's almost like, she had the book out and everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of how it felt. Whoa, I just noticed that the cover of this is blue.
Yeah, man.
It's so cool.
It's
All
got
right.
red eyes too.
No, it doesn't. You lied to me.
You don't see him?
I'm colorblind. All right. Now, obviously, there's got to be some big differences. For example, the original Heir to the Empire, much of the story revolves around Luke Skywalker, Mara Jade, Talon Karrde, Han Solo, Leia, Chewbacca, the Nogri. There's some huge pillars of this story that seemingly don't really know how they're going to incorporate into this. Our main character, hate to break it to you, is... Wait, what show is this in again, Rick?
Ahsoka?
Yeah. The main character is going to be Ahsoka. So, obviously, we've already got one huge piece that's rearranged. I don't know how much of an adaptation this is going to be.
But let's be honest. Is it really outside of the ordinary for Disney to make a show about a character that actually is not about the character that it's named after? Like, remember when Book of Boba Fett all of a sudden became The Mandalorian? And now The Mandalorian is basically like Bo-Katan's show.
You're saying we could have a spin-off episode about the wild card, like about Talon Karrde?
Yeah,
and his
sure.
crew?
Or just a Thrawn, like it's a whole Thrawn arc, but the show's called Ahsoka,
All right.
So maybe. I
I'm
don't
down
know.
to clown with that for sure. Now,
Sure.
there is one big thing that folks are making some connective tissue between that may or may not be justified, and that is we had a couple of orange-bladed characters revealed in the trailer for this, named Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati. Am I saying that right? I have no idea. I haven't seen the show yet, but I at least wrote those names down, so I'll take your rounds of
It was
applause.
so interesting because we couldn't hear anything about their characters. The only thing we could hear was their name, and then how that was really it. Honestly, like for instance, Shin, is it Shin? Okay, Shin, she's very agile and kind of like reminds me of Darth Hannah.
I was thinking like
in
Black
terms
Widow
of-
from the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, very agile and fierce. And then Baylan was very just, he had his lightsaber already in the position before they even fired the shot. He knew what's going on. He's very efficient, powerful. But that's all we know.
Mechanical. Yeah.
Yeah. We
So-
couldn't. That's it.
A couple things we do know about them is they have orange blades. There's been a lot of discussion online about the orange blades, kind of like a red orange, blood orange color, which is not something we've seen a ton of in canon or Legends. Not a ton of orange sabers. They also are wearing armor. Many folks have made a connection to the Imperial Knights from the Legacy comics, who they're basically Jedi who work for the government. So it's like a military systematized Jedi order. Instead of being like monks, they're like soldiers.
Interesting.
So that's kind of a philosophical difference on, is it right for the government to control the Jedi, or should the Jedi be these deep thinkers and theologians? So that's an interesting wrinkle. And then, of course, another thing that people have noted is, well, we do know the names of the actors. So we've got Baylan Skoll is portrayed by Ray Stevenson, who also, funnily enough, voiced Gar Saxon in the Clone Wars. And then Shin Hati is portrayed by Ivana Sakno, a Ukrainian actress. So very excited to see what becomes of them. Emily, your reactions to these characters, are we expecting to see kind of a Jeruis Sabayoth character and maybe perhaps a Mara Jade? How much of these characters do you think are going to be based off of the Legends storyline in the first place?
Oh, geez. I'm not holding up much hope. I feel like they're doing something different, kind of implying a dark Jedi instead of a Sith with the orange bladed lightsaber. Honestly, that seems really mysterious to me. That's a weird kind of segue. I'm not really sure what to make of it.
I think that the mystery is on purpose. I think there is
Yeah.
supposed to be some mystery around these characters. I think we're going to get an interesting story arc with them. How good, how bad are they? I've got a theory that one will be persuaded by the light and the other won't. Then they'll have to turn against each other. That's just a theory. Just a theory. All right. Rick, what do you think?
Yep.
More abs for Balin?
Huh?
Do we need more abs for Balin?
I've been catching a rabbit, following a rabbit trail, I guess, on the theory that this character, what's his name, Balin,
Yes.
that he is reminiscent of the rough draft screenplay of Star Wars.
Oh.
And let me add this in.
Rick, I feel like I heard this as well, and I know where you're going with it. It's interesting.
So check that out. The front cover, and then like.
All right, bring it back. The camera was still buffering.
Okay, hold on.
Rick is showing a.
Okay, so we're looking at like Anakin.
Not
Solo?
Anakin. It's
Skywalker.
Yeah, I think it's his dad, if I get it right. And so like right there, you see that profile
yeah.
face, and so there's a few spots where it. There, I just turned to one. Like that's the same. At least visually, it looks the same.
It does.
And totally different characters, totally different eras, but I think visually there's some overlap intentionally. I don't know what that means or why they're doing that, but it's there. So we'll see.
That's a good find.
Yeah, that's a nice pool.
Freddie, what do you think? Is he supposed to be your stand-in for Sabaoth? And if so, why aren't we seeing more of the chest line?
Yeah, I'd love to see some abs in this show, but I don't think we're gonna see that.
That's for the new Jedi Order.
I'm thinking like a shower shot, like he's putting on his robe. There it is.
We saw Kylo, right? I expect to see more in the future.
Oh yeah.
So
More.
I'd love to see more. I'd like to petition that to Disney. More abs, everybody. I
More
want to see
abs.
everybody's abs.
Or abs.
And it doesn't have to be, chiseled. Acceptance.
Hey.
I want to see everybody's abs.
Oh dear.
All right. One
Anyway,
last
off of
round.
that. I think if we see Mara Jade, if we see anything resembling that, I'd be a little shocked, honestly. Maybe not in the same capacity, not as Luke's wife, but if we did see that, that'd be interesting. I don't know.
So we're introduced to a smuggler crew that has to work with Ahsoka and Sabine, and turns out there's a force sensitive red-haired woman who has a bit of an edge to her, and maybe her name is something else entirely. And then they say, "Oh, you remind me of someone that I once knew." Maybe that's all there is to it. Maybe by the end of the story, they're like, "Hey, you know what? You should go check out this Jedi Academy that our friend Rey is establishing."
Oh yeah.
That's about as close as I think we could get on the
Should be
Mara Jade
interesting.
front. But yeah, I don't know about Luke's wife. All right, one last round here on Heir to the Empire before we move on. What is one more thing you might like to see adapted from the book? We've got obviously the entire trilogy that we can pull from. We've talked about maybe wanting to see Thrawn's motivations. I'll lead us off. I'd like to see some Isalamari.
Yeah.
I want to see a lizard on a neck. All right. I want to see a lizard on a neck. I want somebody to drape a lizard across their neck, and I want it to shut off the Force powers when a Jedi is, or one of those orange-bladed folks is coming through the woods, and they're all ready to use their Force, and the lizard's got you. I want to see that so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
I feel like that.
I want to see Thrawn.
happen.
I want to see Thrawn have a trunk full, the back of his Jeep, just full of these lizards.
I like it.
I think I can agree with that.
I want to see Talon Card or another like chaotic neutral character some either crime lord or smuggler, pirate, maybe somebody who's just not who's important to the plot, not just a throwaway character, but still calling back maybe Talon Card a little bit.
All right. Emily, Freddie, last thoughts? Heir to the Empire?
Salimari. I mean, I feel like that's a big one.
How about the Nogri?
Yeah.
We're gonna see any more?
Oh yeah,
Nogri?
Nogri for sure. I'd love to
That's
see some
true.
martial
One.
arts.
We've
Yeah.
seen one.
That seems
We
more up
have.
your alley, Freddie. I just want to see a flashback to kind of an origin story. Like I want to see a little bit more of his motivations, and I know that that's not really a Legendsy thing, but that's what I want.
Or
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, we got
Well-
Outbound Flight and Legends.
that's true. I'm
I'm
gonna change
also
my
like
answer.
all mixed up in my head about Thrawn because I've read so many of his stories. So like the canon is blended with the legends, and like I can't keep them straight anymore.
Well, I
And
mean,
I know that that's
as
sad.
Skuma
But
said
that's where
earlier,
I'm at.
Zahn does the same thing. He tries in his
Yeah.
own mind to keep it all in one universe, so you can too.
I just,
We'll
I would
allow it.
love to see a flashback to the Ascendancy, truly. But I know that's not a Legends reference, so feel free to shun me.
I
I am
like that though.
shunned.
Well, I mean,
It makes sense.
It's not Legends because I mean, like I said, Outbound Flight is that era.
Yeah.
and it's at least referenced vaguely in the canon books. So
Yeah.
Rick, Thrawn, what you got?
I was gonna say fleet combat and awesome strategy, and yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe some Sabaoth meditation. That'd be cool. Battle meditation.
We do see flight combat. One thing that was mentioned during the show was that they studied a lot of World War II footage and pilots. So
Emily's raising her hand so politely, or
I
she's
am.
frozen. One of the two.
I would like to change my answer.
Okay.
I want
we'll
a
allow it.
flashback to Thrawn working with Anakin.
Oh,
That's what I want.
Yep. I want to
That
see that too.
would be sick. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Well,
I changed
if
my
we could-
answer. Yeah,
If
that
we
one's
could
way better.
realize all of our fun little predictions we've made tonight about the entire, new landscape of the Disney Legends adaptations, I think we are in for a treat. Whatever we are in for, I'm here for it. At the end of the day, I try not to go into these things with unreasonable expectations. I almost wonder if they're setting themselves up for failure with using these Legends specific names because there's some contingents of Legends fans who are very easy to pick a fight with. We try not to be that group here. We try to be much more open-minded and positive. Nevertheless, there's a lot to be excited about or perhaps skeptical about as we move forward. But we choose positivity. We choose excitement. Freddie, before we close out the show, last thoughts on Celebration. You have any more like big fun moments you want to share with us?
Let's see here. Not too many. We covered mostly everything. A lot of things I don't think we can show. But in general, I think the feeling was stop hating Star Wars. It's old. If you hate it so much, go find something else to talk about. Hung out with Bro Dameron. That was awesome.
Oh, is that Bro Dameron?
That is Bro Dameron right there. He's wearing a Porg suit.
He does.
And that
look
was
like a Bro.
that's us. That was the closing
Wait.
ceremonies. So
That's a Porg suit.
yeah. So
I
this is how
love
it
it.
started. This is how it started. This is how it ended. We're exhausted. And you know what? Shout out to our friend here, Jake or Bro Dameron. He was talking to a person next to him, and he said, "Oh, I love the books. Oh, look, there's a shirt that I bought there, the Cantina shirt.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he loves Legends, and he's like, I love Utini, and he was like, wait, Utini, hold on, and he called me. He's like, hey, he likes Utini. I was like, what? And he's like, I swear, and he showed me his phone. It was literally, he opened it in front of me and showed me the page. His homepage was utini.com.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So
That's so cool.
it was wild out of
Shout out
nowhere.
to Jake. Jake's a real one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shout out
Love
there.
that.
So
Love that. Jake, if we could, I would give you one of those medals like Chewie doesn't get to wear in A New Hope. You're welcome. You're welcome. This is
There's the crew.
maybe my favorite picture, Freddie, of the entire
I love
celebration.
that.
Yep, this was actually we made friends with the panelists here. One of the panelists, it was about the difference between resistance and rebellion, and how what kind of things does that teach us in Star Wars, etc. Mainly on Andor. we were exhausted
Cool.
already during this time.
Well, I think it really
Looking for water.
shows. I think it really shows the camaraderie that you
Mm.
established there, which is spelled how, Rick?
Oh man, CAMARADIE.
It was an
that.
inside
Yeah.
joke at our college.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
we've got some real camaraderie on the show.
Camaraderie.
Nevertheless, it is time to wrap it up. Freddie is exhausted, and honestly, I'm feeling exhausted by osmosis, just hanging out with him.
Hmm.
So, shout out to everybody who got to go to Star Wars Celebration. Shout out to everybody who didn't, and
Yeah.
it's
Amen.
just looking for some YouTube content here on your Thursday night. Well, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. We got to go back to reading Tales of the Jedi, Golden Age of the Sith, Fall of the Sith Empire, and Tales of the Jedi Redemption, which let me say, I reread Redemption this week, and it holds up. One of my very favorite Star Wars stories
Yes.
of all time. We're going to talk about that next week, Thursday night here at 9:30 p.m. EST on youtube.com/Utini. That does it for this week. Thanks for joining us for Legends Look Back. Thanks to our incredible patrons for your support. We love making the show. We're glad you are along for the ride. Oh, look at that. We got a new little creepy crawly going around the bottom.
Love that.
It's got the names of all of our patrons. If you're listening on audio, that's what just surprised me. It's you. Congratulations if you're a patron. And if you're not, you can be, just like Brian Dooley, Earl Q, Carl Sander, Zach W, and I thought I added one earlier. Ah, dang it. Somebody else also joined. I'll find him on the Jedi High Council, as well as James T, Ashley Ingalls, and Chris Carrizo on our Alliance High Command for their amazing support. Remember to sub to the channel, leave us a review in your podcast platform of choice, and it helps other people find the show. Remember, everybody, to be a force for positivity in the fandom. And also, Colton Fife found him. Colton Fife is a new patron, has joined the Alliance High, the Jedi High Council. Remember, everybody, to be a force for positivity in the fandom. Keep that UTN fan code. Until next time, may the force be with you.